It was an eventful event, regardless of Marvel or Game of Thrones not having a presence there, which, throughout the past couple of years, in the last decade, they had a huge presence at Comic-Con. And so it was like really odd to not have that, but it was still really, really, really good. I guess Star Wars kind of took over Marvel's place this year, I guess. But what were your guys' favorite announcements from San Diego Comic-Con this year? I know, like I said, everyone was ecstatic about the Clone Wars coming back and all these new animations coming back. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment on this, like whenever I share it on all the different socials. And let me know, because I'd be interested to hear what you guys think and have discussions with you. I'll reply to any comments, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, whatever. I will reply to any comments and have discussions with you guys, because I love not just people picking my brain, but picking other people's brains. I'm always curious about that. So anyway, speaking of social medias, I'm getting pretty close to 100 followers on Instagram, which kind of seems to be my main source of communication with you guys, my listeners. So once I do get to 100 followers, I'll be doing a giveaway of some kind. I haven't decided yet. Maybe it'll be a shirt with the scruffy looking Nerd Herders logo, or maybe I can get some companies to donate some items for a giveaway. But I'll try to work something out to give back to you guys, to show my appreciation, because without you guys, there's really no point in me having a podcast, because I'm just kind of just rambling to myself at that point. But since you guys are super supportive, following me on socials, engaging with me on socials and listening to my podcast, I want to go back to you guys. But if you're listening to this for the first time and you don't follow me on any of the socials yet, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter at SLNH Podcast, and I'm on Facebook as Scruffy Looking Nerd Herders with a D, Nerd Herders. And my podcast is on iTunes and Google Play, and I'm pretty sure it's on most podcast streaming services. Also, I guess, since this didn't take as long as I thought it would, so I'm really excited that, my family is kind of working through, all the different, building of their D&D characters and stuff like that. So that campaign is still going to be happening. It's been delayed a little bit. And also, other personal projects and stuff like that. The comics that I was working on, unfortunately, my tablet that I do most of my drawing on, or actually all my drawing on, the program that I used kind of crapped out. And so now I'm kind of in between, just kind of putting all of those comic book projects on hold. But I recently, to try to make sure I kept my creativity going, I started writing a fantasy novel, and it's kind of playing off of all the tropes and cliches of fantasy books and RPGs. It's kind of like a self-aware, Deadpool-esque fantasy book. But I've been writing that. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm already over 11,000 words into it now. So, that's something I'm also working on in my free time. And, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to pitch it to publishers once it's done, edited, and all that. I'm not saying it's going to get picked up, but either way, I'm going to publish it. So that's something else, that if you guys are interested in fantasy stuff or RPG stuff or Dungeons and Dragons, you'll be a fan of this. Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons and all that, Critical Role had a panel at Comic-Con this year as well, and they announced that they're going to be doing more Vox Machina comic books, which I read all of those, and in my next issue, I'm going to do a review on the series as a whole. Highly recommend it, just as a pre-review review, I guess. I highly recommend the series. It's called Tales of Vox Machina, I think is what it's called. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. I think that's it, guys. This is, Comic-Con, maybe next year I'll be able to go to Comic-Con and I can do my podcast from Comic-Con. But yeah, so Comic-Con is always like a huge thing for me. I always love seeing, everything that's announced, stuff that was announced but you can't see yet because it was only for Comic-Con exclusives type stuff. But yeah, so this episode was super cool to do, because I always end up talking to all my friends about it. But so it was cool to do an episode for San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, seriously, guys, hit me up on the socials, and if there's anything that you can think of that you think that would be cool for me to talk about, if you just want, curious about what I think about it, or if you just want to engage in conversation with me, or just share something cool with me, whatever, hit me up on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. I post all of my episodes to YouTube. So anyway, as always, I am your host, Tyler, signing off on this episode, and may the Force be with you.